Number 57 in your classwork for quadratic functions asks you to graph the piecewise function and then find numbers a through e. So here we have piecewise given by when x is less than 0, we have square root of x squared plus 3 plus 2. So if we go ahead and graph this, we'll just do part e first. So when x is less than 0, then we have this first one. So actually, let's just plug in x is 0 and see what y value we get. So we get square root of 3 plus 2. And square root of 3 is 1.7 something, so that plus 2 would be 3.7 something. So that would give us, at 0, it's open, and it's 3.7 approximately. And modeling this, or graphing this function to the left, so it would look something like this, where, oops, it's not a straight line. It opens like this and almost follows a straight line to negative infinity. You can use a graphing calculator if you're not sure how to graph that, but you can just make a table of values and go from there. And then when x is greater than 0, actually let me make this dot, or this opening at 3.7 a little bigger, a little easier to see. Okay. So when x is greater than or equal to 0, so let's plug in x is 0 again into the second equation. So we get y equals, or f equals negative 2. So closed on this endpoint, and then it will open up a positive parabola with scaled by 3, so it'll rise very quickly like this. And so that's our piecewise function graphed. Now we want to find f of negative 2, so that's when x is less than 0. So this will be the square root of negative 2 squared plus 3 plus 2, which is the square root of 7 plus 2. I'm just going to leave it in radical form. You can plug that into a calculator. This f of 1 is going to be when x is greater than 0. So we have 3 times 1 squared plus 7 times 1 minus 2, which is 3 plus 7 minus 2, which is 8. And f of 4 is also when x is greater than 0. So we have 3 times 4 squared plus 7 times 4 minus 2, which will be 16 times 3 is 48 plus 28 minus 2, which is 76 minus 2, which is 74. And the domain of f, so it extends from negative infinity. So domain is from negative infinity, given over here. And it is covered at x equals 0 by this closed dot of the second piecewise. And this also extends to positive infinity. So our domain is from negative to positive infinity. And our range is given by this minimum value of the function. So this min is it's not specifically the vertex, but it's just where this parabola ends. So that would be at negative 2. And it extends all the way to infinity.